Hey, Intro to Psychology learners, and welcome to Module 7. We're almost done. I always suggest that you start with clicking on Course menu and on Learning Modules, go down to the current module, and this week it's Module 7. Because we've done the discussion so many times, I'm just going to jump to Project 2 first, and then I'll do the discussion after. So you can click right here or just go straight to the guidelines and rubric. And it's just saying submit your assignment here. So then we go to the guidelines and rubric. And this is saying that you're going to, it's giving you this little scenario. You're going to create a behavior change blueprint, and it's saying you need a specific goal that you'd like to achieve, how your coping strengths bring you closer to achieving your goal. We're talking about grit, personality traits, the big 5 personality traits, and how these work together. So just when you're looking at the rubric, which is what I'm always looking at, make sure that you're identifying a specific goal. And even though, is it saying it right here? It's not. But if you go into our book, it gives you more information about this, completing and downloading Project 2. So this is on page 7.12. So it's saying set a goal. It's specific and has a deadline. And then for that second, like for the coping strengths, just note that it's asking you to talk about the scales. So if you go into our book, you can see it's saying return to the proactive coping page and review your results from the proactive coping inventory. So make sure that you are talking about the proactive coping inventory and which scales you scored highest on. And then again, for the rubric, it's talking about grit, and just make sure that for the highest grade, you are going back to the grit page and you're talking about your result. So it's saying just including your result and then saying, if it indicated that you were already gritty and how would you use that, or if it was low, how would you build grit? For the personality traits, critical element, just note that this is talking about the big 5 personality traits. So make sure that you return to that. And if you click on this, it will take you right back to that page. And just make sure that you're talking about one of the big 5 personality traits. And remember, it was ocean. So if I click on this, it's going to take me out of it. But that's fine. But remember that it's the... there they are. OCEAN, openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. So if I were you, I would be talking about how those big 5 personality traits, at least one of them, will help you with your goal. And then just note that it's asking you to explain how 2 or more of these work together. So just make sure that you're saying 2 or more of either your coping strengths or your grit or your personality traits. Like, make sure that you're using 2 of those and saying how they would work together for the best grade here. And then for articulation of response, just note that in your book it is saying what sources do I cite, and it's saying that you should be citing the web text. See, the web text will be your only source. So that's what you're doing for Project 2. And then remember that to cite our book, you just do in parentheses Harper, 2024. Or you can go to tools, remember, and here's the citation guide, and you can download it and just copy straight from there. Okay, and then if we go back into Module 7, for the discussion, just make sure that we are doing what we always do for the discussion. This time it is asking you to talk about one of these hot topics. So say that you're talking about one of these hot topics in the discussion, and then just make sure that you are including credible resources, because and for our purposes, that's our text. So just make sure that you're including something that supports what you're saying, and that you're adding that Harper 2024 at the ends of the sentences that contain that information from the book to show that you've included support from a credible resource. And that's true even to get a proficient grade. And then for relevance to the programmatic themes, just note that this says elaborates on how one of the themes relate, and here you have to do multiple themes, so just make sure that you're including like 2 or more. For advancement of discussion, just note that you want to be integrating views from other learners and sources. I think that the text is the easiest thing to use here. Just add anything from the book and say Harper 2024. But this doesn't say that it has to be a credible source. So this can be any source on the internet or even your fellow students or myself. And then for professional communication, it's just saying proper APA citation. And you can see proper APA citation is here as well. So just make sure that you're including that proper APA, and that just means putting Harper, 2024 at the ends of the sentences that contain the information from the book. Ideally, you would also put the reference at the bottom, and remember that the reference can be found by clicking on this citation guide, and then you can just copy and paste it straight from there to get the full reference for the book. And just make sure that you do a spelling and grammar check too, and then submit by Thursday. And that is it. Let me know if you have any questions.